Hello, hockey fans. Welcome on in to another episode of The Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. The trade deadline is Friday, but that has not stopped teams from going bonkers with trades today. The Islanders and the Wild made a trade. The Capitals got involved. The Toronto Maple Leafs apparently decided they needed an entire new defense in 24 hours. But the big one, the one that broke my heart, and I knew it was coming, Patrick Kane has himself a new home, going from the second city to Broadway. He's with the New York Rangers. I don't know if I'm going to make it through the show, folks. Fortunately, Zach Puplis is with us tonight, and he'll be able to take us through whatever I can't. When we get done talking trades, we've got to discuss some things with goalies, though. How much puck handling should we really have goalies doing? We've got a couple of extreme examples. One that ended fantastically for the Bruins. Another one that ended about in the worst case possible for the Golden Knights. So we'll discuss that and maybe even dip into some college ranks as well. This is The Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio. Let's go. And once again, hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome on into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnick, Zach Puplis along with you here tonight. I got to admit, folks, it's going to be a tough one. And damn it, Twitter, this is going to make it so hard. I pulled up Twitter to get our ad read up, Zach, and the first thing that hits me, the tweet from Patrick Kane saying thank you to Chicago. Damn it, Zach, I need you to do the read. I can't do it.
Hi, how are you?
As I get Zach Puplis into the show here tonight. This one's just gonna be hard, Zach. I'm gonna be so honest with you. This is gonna be a hard one. I pull up Twitter to get our read out of the way, and literally there's the tweet from Patrick Kane saying, thank you, Chicago. You're always gonna be home for me. How the heck am I supposed to do the show after that?
Power through. You got this.
No, you're doing the show. I'm going to sit here for a few minutes and try not to cry.
Just do the read. I'll take it from there.
I'm going to do my best here. God.
Deep breaths. Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm going to read this from Patrick Kane, and that's going to be the end of it. All right. For the last 8+ years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. All the while, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and with your help, we are ready to take the next step. When you go to our website, iesportsradio.com, you'll see our Patreon link with 5 different tiers. The first one starting at just $5 a month. This donation gets you a shout-out on all of our shows. Higher tiers include IE Sports Radio merchandise, access to our podcasting university, and even a chance to be featured on a segment of our flagship show, The Defining Moment. Thank you all very much for continuing to make IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And I want to say thank you to our Patreon supporters now, Bay Area Raised, MLOS Great, Key to the Gate, and Anonymous. Ways you can interact with the station. Of course, IE Sports Radio is available for you on all the major social platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at IE Sports Radio. Neutral Zone is available for you as well on Twitter at IESR Neutral Zone. Or you can follow along with Zach and I personally. I am at Adam_Karnick. Zach is at The Pupless. And now I have to read this from Patrick Kane. So Zach, do you want to take us through the lineup tonight as we take a look at the scores that are around the NHL right now?
But of course. Give me 1 second to pull it up here. Okay, going around the league tonight. My Red Wings are down against the Senators 5-1 in the third. Yikes! Ouch. Panthers are up on the Lightning 3-1 in the third. Blue Jackets up on the Sabres 4-1, just about the end of the second. Islanders and Wild are tied at 1. They just started the second, just a couple minutes in. Penguins and Predators tied 0-0, just a couple minutes into the second. Kraken and Blues. Kraken is ahead 1-0 in the second. Kings and Jets. Jets are ahead 2-1, just about 2 minutes into the second period. And Bruins and Flames just tipped off. 19 minutes and 16 seconds left in the first. Bruins, Flames tied 0-0. Still yet to come tonight, we got the Blackhawks and the Yotes, 9 p.m. Blackhawks just a couple games ahead of the Coyotes, looks like. And then 10:30, our nightcap tonight, we got Canadians and Sharks. Woo! So busy night of hockey as usual on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
Mr. Adam.
The standard, typical Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night's always a busy night. ESPN gets lots of games, and then TNT gets, the one. I did see that your Red Wings were getting absolutely murdered by Ottawa.
Yeah, they're getting hammered.
Why hasn't Detroit taken the next step yet, do you think? I know this wasn't really something that we were planning on talking about, but since they're getting killed by Ottawa.
We talked in the offseason about some of the additions that they had, and I thought they were definitely going to be some bring some help to the team at least. But maybe they just haven't quite gelled yet. And it seems like they're shuffling their goalies. What I'm seeing here, it's mostly Villahuso, but Nedeljkovic is still getting some time, and then occasionally they got Hellberg in there too. So maybe they're just trying to figure out, who's going to be their top line goalie. The last couple games. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, Villahuso played so well last season, for them. Did so well as a rookie, but struggling, it seems like, this year.
Well, Huso we got didn't we get from the Blues last year?
Oh, you're right. Who am I thinking of? You're correct.
Maybe
yes, Villahuso. Yeah, you're correct. I'm sorry.
That's good. In the last couple of games, we actually beat Edmonton and Calgary earlier in the month. So, that's huge. Lost to Seattle, but Seattle's a decent team. So it was 4-2. So it wasn't a blowout by any means. Then beat Washington and New York Rangers. So, those are some good wins. Lost to Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay. So 3-0. I'm not really too sad about that one. But but back to back in Ottawa yesterday and tonight. 6-2 yesterday they lost, and now 5-1 they're losing. So,
yeah, just rough, just rough for the Red Wings. overall.
Let's just not go to Ottawa the rest of the year. How's
I,
that sound?
I got no problems with that.
I mean, I think that's the extent of their matchup. Anyways, um, yeah. Well, they played each other earlier in the year. Oh gosh, we got brutalized in that one too, 6-3. Boy, back in December. So yeah, I would say it's maybe them not quite gelling, and then also trying to juggle the goalies and try to figure out who's your top line, who's your second line, and so on.
Yeah. That always makes it tough too when you don't have the lines, you don't have the cohesion there that you normally do. Yeah, there's definitely something to be said for that. By the way, let us know in the chat room if you're listening live tonight. We're doing a different audio setup, and at least on my end, listening in the controls, this sounds so much better. I mean, we made it work in weeks past, but this sounds so much cleaner. Let us know in the chat room if it's coming through on your end, but at least on this end, everything sounds
I am
good.
too.
So it sounds so much better. But
Yeah, on my end too.
We could be missing something, so let us know in the chat room if it's sounding cleaner. All right, so the big story of the week, of course, is the trade deadline is Friday. And in the NHL, the general managers don't always wait until the deadline. You know, in Major League Baseball, you see them make trades. If the deadline is July 31st, then they'll hold out and hold out and hold out until July 30th or July 31st, and then there's 16 trades on that day. In the NHL, it tends to be more spread out. We had a bunch of moves in the last week. Let's kind of go through these. I mean, we know what the big one to me is. What, as we look through, let's get people caught up on some of the trades going on, not just today, but there were some moves over the weekend also in the NHL. Just so many moves and trades, guys going around. So let's get people caught up a little bit here on some of the moves. We'll start with, we'll go back here. We'll go back a few days here. Don't want to recap the entire week because there have just been a bazillion. But let's start with here as I'm getting everything settled. Let's start with the Timo Meier deal, because that was such a big one back just a couple of days ago on Sunday night. Let's go just from Sunday to today here. So you have New Jersey getting Timo Meier, Scott Harrington, Santuria Hataka, Timur. Yep. I love hockey.
Oh,
Ibagrimov.
Yeah, that works. That's what
Ibagrimov. I've said it twice. I'm going with it. That's what it is at this point. Zach Edmund and a 5th round pick. The Sharks then just get picks. A 1st rounder this summer. A conditional 2nd rounder next summer. A 7th rounder next summer. And then a couple of forwards and a couple of D-men. Fabian Zetterlund, Andreas Johansson, Shakir
Mukhamadullin?
We'll go with it. And Nikita Okudik. The Sharks, I mean, we knew that they were going to be selling. So putting Timo Meier up on the block doesn't shock me, doesn't surprise me. But do the Devils being the team that ultimately winds up getting him, does that surprise you at all?
Um, Maybe in years past, but I think this year, I mean, they've rebounded well from what I've seen so far. So they figure, hey, now's our time. Might as well make the most of this chance.
Yeah, and they're sitting there in second place in the division. The Devils keep surprising me that they just keep, that they're still there. That they're still there at this point keeps surprising me.
If they make the playoffs, they'll have to bring back those Martin Brodeur Enterprise commercials.
Yes, indeed. Then we had a little bit of a 3-team action. The Predators getting involved with both Philadelphia and Tampa. Tampa Bay getting Tanner Jeannot. The Predators getting Cal Foote, and then a heap of picks. Also Isaac Ratcliffe, while Philadelphia simply gets everybody's favorites, future considerations. Yesterday, the Blackhawks made a trade. It was not the trade we were expecting, but they did make a trade. Tampa Bay has gone nuts with the trade acquisitions the last couple days. The Leafs get Jake McCabe and Sam Lafferty from the Blackhawks, along with a couple of picks. And then the Blackhawks got 2 picks and 2 forwards that'll be down in the minors, an AHL and an ECHL forward. Sabres and Canucks making some moves. And then we'll come back to that. I want to save that one for last just so I can get myself through it. Now, here's an oddball one. Normally when we see trades, they're between a seller and a buy, a team looking to dump and a team looking to get better. Carolina and Edmonton made a trade. The Hurricanes got Jesse Puljujärvi. I got that one all kinds of wrong. The Oilers get Patrick Puistola. So a couple of forwards swapping there.
So in this scenario, who's the buyer and who's doing the dumping? Like in my mind, okay, Edmonton and Carolina have both made the playoffs the last couple of years, so they're both good in my mind. Is Carolina worse this year? I forget.
Carolina's a playoff team. I mean, Carolina's not tanking by any means. This is the Oilers reloading a little bit. The Oilers got a prospect back while the Hurricanes are trying to bolster their depth. This feels like a bit of the East being such an arms race in the East. Everybody's trying to figure out how to topple Boston.
Yeah.
And Edmonton did a little bit of reloading.
Yeah, because it's not as much of an arms race out there, it feels like.
Right. I mean, the Pacific is a crazy division. Taryn's asking, have the Kings gotten any better by the deadline? The Kings have been very quiet to this point. They have not made any moves over the weekend. Let me see. When was the last time the Kings... I mean, the Kings have done nothing to this point as far as trades go. You go all the way back to the beginning of the season. The Kings have done nothing yet, Taryn. So nothing to report there yet for Los Angeles to this point. The Wild have done some buying today. They got Gustav Nyquist from Columbus.
Hey, former Red Wing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They also got Marcus Johansson from Washington today. So Minnesota's trying to load up to go on a bit of a run, which makes sense. They're certainly going to be in the running in the Central. I think as we sit here right now, they're only 3 points out of first place. That Dallas has come back down a little bit. Minnesota and Colorado are catching up to them.
Well,
and Winnipeg also.
If you're Minnesota, you look at the last couple of years, and they made the playoffs, but they can't seem to get over that hump of the first or second round. So, that's exactly what they need to be doing is loading up on more stars.
Yeah, they're trying to improve their scoring too. That's what they're looking at doing. They're trying to get better on offense a little bit. The Rangers got some future considerations. There's a popular thing from the Predators for Austin Rushiloff, that's a salary dump move. We'll get to that in a second, why they needed to be dumping salary. And then the Islanders got Pierre Engvall from the Maple Leafs, another two teams that are both very much alive in the playoff hunt, doing deals with each other. The Islanders getting Pierre Engvall, and the Maple Leafs get a third-round pick next summer. But
that's interesting to pair that with the Edmonton Carolina trade, because you're absolutely right. Normally it's somebody who's out of the running, looking to get more prospects and get better in the future, and they're willing to sell off one of their prized possessions for it to somebody who's in the running, or, who wants to bulk up and bolster their lineup for a playoff run,
Yeah. And then we get to the big one. Patrick Kane leaves the Blackhawks, technically goes to Arizona. Arizona then immediately traded him to the Rangers. So Patrick Kane is now in New York. They had to wait to make it official until after 5 p.m. because then Kane's salary wouldn't count on New York's books until tomorrow. The Blackhawks are keeping half of Kane's salary. The Coyotes are paying a quarter of Kane's salary, and then the Rangers are picking up the rest of the tab. And that's why they made the trade to get Austin Rushiloff off of their books for future considerations. They needed to still do a salary dump to free up the $2.25 million or whatever it was to fit Kane onto their roster.
That's fascinating that Arizona will be paying some of that.
I'm only half joking here. We need to do it. It's amazing the amount of talent Arizona has paid to players to not play for them. They have been a salary dumping ground for years. Patrick Kane and Marian Hossa are the first two that leap to mind, but we need to look up like an all-time who's who of guys that the Coyotes have paid that ultimately have never played for them.
Right.
I imagine it would be quite the roster.
Well, even just the concept of it blows my mind. Like the whole salary math idea. Normally you'd think, okay, here, this team is paying these many players. And if you're going to trade a player, okay, we're going to trade this player for these two and vice versa. But then to think that a third team would, you've seen three-way trades before, of course, but just the third team is involved just to help pay for that person's contract.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah. Well, it's because in the NHL, the salary cap almost never moves. It just barely bumps every year.
Oh, like 1 million or something.
Right. Yeah. It hardly goes up at all. It's not like the NFL where it goes up by 10, 20, $30 million every year. And look, we can afford contracts. So officially,
it's wild.
The New York Rangers get Patrick Kane and they get defenseman Cooper Zek. The Coyotes get a 2025 third round pick from the Rangers as a thank you for taking a quarter of his salary. The Blackhawks get 2 defensive prospects, a second round pick this summer that's conditional, and a fourth round pick that is set in stone for this upcoming draft. That second round pick could actually turn into a first round pick for the Blackhawks, but that couldn't happen until either 2024 or 2025 because the Rangers don't have a 2023 first round pick.
It's conditional in the same way that the Marc-Andre Fleury deal was.
Yes, very similar. Yep, very similar move there to that deal. Yeah, it's if the Rangers make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, then that pick becomes a first-round pick.
Makes sense.
So now for the Rangers, I mean, that's an outs. You look at their forwards now, the players they have at their disposal on their top line. I mean, listen to the players they now have. Left wing, Chris Kreider, Artemi Panarin. Center, Micah Zibanejad and Vincent Trocheck. Right wing, Vladimir Tarasenko and Patrick Kane. Those are some brutal top six forwards if you're trying to face that defensively.
Joke, yeah.
Is it enough for the Rangers, do you think? I mean, they've got to be done. They're out of money. They've got to be done.
Well, they can't pull some Tampa Bay Lightning type math.
I mean, I don't know if they can find somebody to just put on long-term IR real quick so that they can free up that money. I don't know if you can just hey, Adam Fox, you're going to go sit on long-term IR until the playoffs. Then we'll bring you back and this will be fine.
Go break your leg, okay?
Yeah, go. Yeah, well, but don't really break your leg. Just, act like you broke your leg so we can put you on long-term IR. Free up some money, But they've got to be done. But in the meantime, they're sitting there. They're third in the Metro as we sit here right now. They're 6 points behind New Jersey. They're 9 points behind Carolina. The Islanders have made moves to try to improve. The Penguins, of course, are still there. Have they done enough, do you think?
Whew. I mean, that lineup right there sounded pretty much like a murderer's row, just trying to defend that offense. I think so.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think they've certainly have made themselves formidable, to say the least.
Yep.
So, Patrick Kane will make his Rangers debut tomorrow against the Flyers. I will be paying attention and hoping he scores, and also at the same time having a very hard time keeping myself composed.
I was just going to ask if you were going to go watch.
Oh yeah. I'll stab myself in the heart. Why not? I'm a masochist like that. I do.
What's that meme from The Office? I'm ready to get hurt again.
I'm ready to get hurt again. Exactly. I haven't been hurt in hockey for a while, so I'm due.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a sports masochist, so, All right, we are going to take a quick break here, and then on the flip side of it, we got to talk about something here, a little unorthodox, a little bit out of the ordinary here. How much puck handling should a goalie be doing? We've got two extreme examples from the last couple of days. We will discuss that on the other side of this break. You are listening to The Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter, at any time. Be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm Zach Puplis, here with Adam Karnick.
All right, that worked pretty well, Zach, actually. We got ourselves back in okay from that.
Woo!
So, now that we've gotten through all the nitty-gritty trade stuff, a silly segment, I think, is in order. So, we all know that the goalie's primary job is to stop the puck from getting into his own net, right? That seems pretty straightforward.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, though, he is called upon to actually handle the puck. Usually, it just involves clearing the puck away off to one side, maybe passing it to one of his defenders, nothing else. But on occasion, he's got to do more. And I wonder if we can come to some kind of consensus here on how much he should handle. Because we've got two extreme examples from over the weekend of sometimes it goes great when the goalie's handling the puck. Sometimes it ends absolutely in disaster. Let's start off with the it ends great example first. This is from the Boston Bruins on Saturday night against Vancouver. The Bruins were up 2-1 in the waning minutes, last minute of the game. They do what any team, the Canucks do what any team would do. They pull their goalie for the extra attacker. Bruins goalie Linus Ullmark gets the puck and throws it down ice. But he had enough time to set it up. He scored. He became just the 13th goalie in NHL history to score. He scored his first career NHL goal. Unassisted, empty netter. His teammates mobbed him like crazy. He was the first star of the game, not in small part to the fact that he scored a goal in the game. All right, that's the good. Now, let's go to last night's game between the Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche. All right.
Okay.
We had the final score was Colorado 3, Vegas nothing. Now, in fairness, Vegas was playing Aiden Hill, their backup. Their backup netminder this season was who they were playing last night. He made a play. The puck wound up behind the net. He went around to play it. Tried to clear it to one of his defender, to one of his mates. Instead, he winds up passing the puck to Mikko Rantanen, who absolutely, it was in front of the goal mouth. Rantanen gets the easiest goal of his life.
Ooh.
So that begs the question, how much puck handling should your goalie be doing?
Somewhere in between.
I mean,
as some friends told me in college, don't try to be a hero.
Yeah. It was one of the most ridiculous goals you'll see. I'll share it with I'll go back and share it with you on here later. I put it out there on the the Neutral Zone Twitter feed last night. But I mean, it's just a doozy of, he passes it right to Makinen. There's Rantanen. I'm sorry, Mikko Rantanen. I just combined his first and last names there.
Portmanteau.
He just puts it right on there, and then you could see Hill. He realizes his mistake and just belly flops onto his side in a desperate vein. You can almost hear him going, "No!" as his
Slow
entire
motion.
life flashes in front of his eyes.
Right.
And
Slow
Rantanen gets the
motion.
easiest goal of his life.
Yeah, no joke.
So what's better? Ullmark's goalie score or Aiden Hill's goalie faux pas? Which is the greater play, do you think?
Oh, Allmark for sure. I mean, he's only one of 13 goalies to ever have scored a goal in the entire league, in the entire history of the league.
All right. I'll see that. I can see with that. I would feel that Hill's plays, though, is just the Bruins would have won anyway without Ullmark scoring. That was the first goal of the game for Colorado in that one.
Oh, wow.
They kind of set the tone for the whole game there in that one.
Yeah. Well, and you said it sounded like Allmark had time to set it up to where he would have the shot correctly and everything. Whereas it sounds like in the Hill case with the Golden Knights, like there were people around him and everything, and he was just trying to do his best to get, clear the puck. That's all he was trying to do. And he just probably tried to do too much.
He tried to pass it to a teammate and missed horribly. He missed. There's no other nice way of putting it. He just missed.
Who's in there behind that mask? A stormtrooper?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. I've seen stormtroopers with better accuracy.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. It's a terrible pass. It's just an awful, awful pass.
Oh, gosh.
So, but yes, I figured we needed to have a little bit of levity in this situation here as we look at just how much how much puck handling should goalies be doing here as we take a quick peek around into the scoreboard, the current scoreboard setup. I know you had an Ovechkin story for us, and I had one last thought too before we leave the trade situation here.
Well, so my last thought on the goalies.
All right.
I would just say that when it comes to hockey, you've got all your defensemen, and then you've got your goalie. Your goalie's your last line of defense, and so as the last line of defense, you do whatever it takes to get the puck out of there. So, I mean, I guess that kind of is counterintuitive to the whole "don't be a hero" thing, but at the same time, like, just do whatever it takes, get the puck out of there. Maybe don't try to overdo it at the same time. So maybe there's the fine line in between those.
Maybe if you're gonna miss, don't miss right into the middle of the slot where there's an open cage and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right? Yeah.
Miss over by the boards if you're gonna miss. It's like they talk about in football. If you're gonna miss high, don't miss high over the middle because it'll get intercepted. In hockey, don't miss on a pass in the slot. It will end up in the back of your net.
Yeah. Can goalies
goalie.
get called? Can goalies get called for icing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Goalie can ice the puck. Absolutely.
So,
he can also get called for interference or for delay a game too if he throws it over the glass.
Oh yeah, true.
So one last thought here on the trades. Arizona now. I couldn't believe this thing. This is from Greg Wyshynski of ESPN. Arizona now, after this Patrick Kane move, of which they were a part today, they now have 27 draft picks over the next 3 drafts. And that's just in the first 5 rounds of the next 3 drafts.
You did mention that earlier, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's an absolutely insane number of draft picks. And that's just in the top 5 rounds. I'm looking it up right now to remind myself how many rounds it is. It's a 7. It's a 7-round draft. That's what I thought. That's not including any of their 6th or 7th round picks. That's just the top 5 rounds. They could have damn near 30 picks over the next 3 years.
Like I compared it to football. It was like when Oakland was selling off everything and they had like the entire first round of picks.
I think the Los Angeles Rams just made a trade with the Coyotes. I think they sent a draft pick over to Arizona.
Right.
Oh, we'll get something. We'll get something. Here, we got a draft pick. What the hell do we do with this? Here, you take it. We don't want these things. We're going to have a situation here where Arizona's just going to be, they're going to be just like on the clock 3 or 4 picks in a row.
Right. And who's up next? It looks like it's Arizona again.
Oh, look, it's Arizona. Oh boy. Arizona. Don't get up to use the bathroom if you're the GM of the Arizona Coyotes.
That's crazy.
All right. Let's check back in on our scoreboard for tonight.
Oh,
we do have some finals. Go for it.
I thought I did.
Oh, okay, I've got it here.
Go for it.
While I'm doing that, you can get your Ovechkin story pulled up. Final, Senators 6, Red Wings 1. Panthers 4, Lightning 1. So Battle of Florida this time goes to the Panthers. Live going on right now, we've got, as I accidentally pulled one of the games up, that's not what I wanted to do. We've got the Jets over the Kings right now, 5-3 at the end of 2. End of 1, the Bruins are on top of the Flames 2-0. Predators and Penguins are tied at 0 at the end of 2. Just started the third period in Minnesota. The Islanders and Wild are tied at 1 apiece. And with 5 minutes to go in Buffalo, it is the Blue Jackets 4, the Sabres 3. And then end of 1, the Coyotes are beating the Blackhawks 2-0.
Ow!
Ow! All right, so we got about 5 minutes here left before we turn things over to Cale Henderson of Sin City Sports. But I know you found something about Alexander Ovechkin.
Sure. So I don't know if you've heard of it, but the show The Last of Us, it's a new show on HBO Max.
Yeah.
It's got Pedro Pascal from like The Mandalorian. So he's like, being a guardian, like ushering this girl through a post-apocalyptic country after a pandemic hit the whole world. And instead of a virus, it was fungus. And the fungus took over and made all these people into zombies, basically.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And there's a scientist at the beginning that explains it. And it's kind of creepy because it's actually, sort of plausible. Like it definitely happens in animals, like with the fungus taking over an ant and being able to control its motor functions while it's decomposing the ant's body. Like, but they say it couldn't happen with humans because, the temperature in humans would have to be, or the, outside temperature, inside temperature, whatever, would have to be higher. But they said, if global warming warmed up the earth even more, that's all it would take for it to be a possibility. Anyways, Last of Us deaf actor Kavion Woodard spends the day with Washington Capitals star Alex Ovechkin. So Washington Capitals hosted a special guest this week, welcoming 10-year-old deaf actor Kavion Woodard to their practice facility. Woodard, who stars as Sam Burrell in the HBO series The Last of Us, is from Prince George's County in Maryland and is an avid hockey player. He is a huge fan of Capitals superstar Alex Ovechkin, and he himself aspires to become the first deaf black player in the NHL. On Friday, Woodard got to accomplish one of his dreams. He spent the day with Ovechkin and the Capitals organization. The day included a tour of the facility and some ice time on the rink. Woodard scored twice during practice drills with Capitals goalie Charlie Lindgren and forward Nicholas Aube-Kubel. Woodard also taught Ovechkin how to sign his nickname Ovi in American Sign Language. Ovechkin then presented an autographed hockey stick to Woodard. "Oh, this is so cool," Woodard said through an ASL interpreter. "I can't believe it. This is a dream of mine." Woodard was also introduced to former Capitals forward Devontae Smith-Pelly, one of 11 black players who have suited up for the organization. Both Smith-Pelly and Woodard were present at the Capitals game on Saturday. Smith-Pelly participated in the puck drop during the Celebrating Black History pregame festivities. The Capitals defeated the New York Rangers 6-3 at home. Woodard was honored alongside other youth players as rising stars of the game. Earlier this year, the Capitals also provided a $10,000 grant to the Maryland-based Bowie Hockey Club. Woodard plays for the club, and a portion of the grant was used to support him with an ASL interpreter and special hockey equipment. In addition to his work on The Last of Us, Woodard has also earned acting roles on film projects such as Fractal and Seeds of Hope, the Andrew Jackson Foster story.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, good for them. I'm glad they had a good day, and who knew Ovechkin now knows how to sign his name. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. That is a perfect note for ending this show. So we're going to sound the horn. Big shout out and thank you to several people. Of course, our Patreon supporters, Bay Area Raised, Emlo's Great, Key to the Gate, and Anonymous. Thank you to Larry B. and Taryn Rodriguez hanging out with us in the chat room. Larry B. jumped in right at the last second. The power of the new equipment is working. Confirmed that we do indeed sound very good blasting through your speakers. So glad that we could do that. Thanks to Larry B. also for all the hard work that he does behind the scenes here at IE Sports Radio, getting everything going, making sure we're all lined up how we're supposed to be and sounding as good as we can for you while we do our shows. Coming up next here on IE Sports Radio, it is Cale Henderson and Sin City Sports, breaking down all things Las Vegas. I'm sure there will be some Raiders talk as the NFL Scouting Combine is coming up, and maybe we'll hear his thoughts on Aiden Hill's poor display of puck handling skills there. Who knows? For Zach Popoulos, I am Adam Karnik. Together, we are the Neutral Zone. Thank you so much for coming and making us part of your week, whether you're listening live here tonight on Tuesday in Spreaker or you're listening later on the week, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, any of the other ways you can get our content. Thank you for making us part of your week. Until then, be good, be safe, stay healthy. Don't get checked into the boards. Stay out of the penalty box. And whatever you do, make sure you protect your 5-hole. All right, everybody. Have a great week. We will see you next time.